To celebrate this event, millions of Hindus, yogis, and followers of the Vedic tradition gather at the Sangam to celebrate Kumbha Mela, the world's largest act of faith. Kumbha Mela also holds the world record for the largest gathering of human beings in recorded history. Between January the 9th and February the 21st of the year 2001, 71 million people attended the Kumbha Mela. Mark Twain, the American author, visited the Kumbha Mela in 1895 and was deeply moved by what he saw. He said, "These pilgrims had come from all over India. Some of them had been months on the way, plodding patiently along in the heat and dust, worn and poor, hungry, but supported and sustained by an unwavering faith and belief. It is wonderful that the power of faith like this can make multitude upon multitude of the old and weak, and the young and frail, enter without hesitation or complaint upon such incredible journeys and endure the resultant miseries without repining." Faith is indeed a wonderful thing, but what actually is faith? Is it simply a function of the brain, or is it something more profound? According to India's greatest spiritual teachers, there is an infinite world guided by faith. That infinite world is beyond this finite world of birth and death. The infinite world is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. There is no birth or death in that pure plane of life. Faith is that deep inner experience that confirms that such a sublime reality exists. A traveler on the road to the infinite is guided by such faith. They say that faith urges us to approach the higher world, to have hope in the infinite, and to leave this world of shadows and dust behind. The plane of infinite reality transcends all the laws of this mundane world. Thus, faith is considered more valuable than human calculation in approaching the infinite. Pilgrims at the Kumbha Mela believe that by taking a holy bath in the Sangam at this time, their karma, or the sins performed in previous lifetimes, will be removed. Thus the soul becomes eligible for liberation and is freed from the cycle of repeated birth and death.
Kumbha Mela is one of the biggest gathering of the humans on this earth. Kumbh Mela has a significance of spirituality, which which is connected with the holy rivers like Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. As all of you know, the Saraswati which is flowing underground, Ganga and Yamuna, these are both meeting here together. So it is the union of the three rivers.
One of the oldest and most authoritative scriptures in India, the Bhagavad Gita, describes the soul as a unit of spiritual consciousness that can never be destroyed. The Bhagavad Gita says that only the material body can be destroyed, but that the soul is eternal. Thus, a soul takes birth again and again, accepting one material body after the next, according to one's karma. When the soul is at last free from karma, it is then eligible for liberation. For the enlightened pilgrim at Kumbha Mela, all life is sacred because all living things are spirit soul. They consider the human form of life as most sacred because, in human life, one can realize one's eternal nature. Only in the human form of life can one discover the answers to such questions as, who am I? Where do I come from? Where will I go when this life is over? The faithful know that to become enlightened and liberated is the fundamental goal of human life, and to develop the sentiments of divine love for God is the highest stage of enlightenment. It is indeed remarkable to see millions of pilgrims gathered at Kumbha Mela for this purpose. Of the 71 million people that attended the Kumbha Mela, several million of those were sadhus. A sadhu is an ordained holy man. Among those holy men were the Nagas, the famous naked yogis of India. These holy men renounced the world in their search for equilibrium. They hoped to escape the world's concomitant reactions and suffering by their severe practices, such as celibacy and renunciation of material possessions. With matted locks of hair, their bodies covered in ashes, carrying tridents and swords, they proceed to the bathing area. Renunciation of material necessities, even to the extreme of renouncing one's clothing, may be a symptom of spiritual advancement. However, extreme renunciation alone is not considered the most important quality of a sadhu. Here at Kumbha Mela, many fear these type of renunciants and consider their nudity a nuisance. Seeing the Nagas in parade, visitors often commented, "They make so much noise, shouting and waving their swords and tridents in the air, that it looks more like a show of pride and arrogance than anything really spiritual." Although the Kumbha Mela is by far the world's largest act of faith, it may appear to many people to be the world's largest encampment, with thousands of tents spread out in every direction for as far as the eye can see. An entire city of tents is constructed along the bank of the Ganges during Kumbha Mela, complete with roads, street lights, telephone booths, markets and medical and security facilities. Wherever one turns his head at Kumbha Mela, one is sure to find a spectacle for the eyes. From the weird and wonderful to the sacred and sublime, whatever India has to offer, one can see it at the Kumbha Mela. An outstanding characteristic of many pilgrims and sadhus is the vertical lines of yellow, white and red clay called tilak that covers their forehead. These vertical lines indicate that one is devoted to the Supreme Lord Vishnu or Krishna. The tilak is applied when performing rituals and meditation and is a traditional part of spiritual culture in India. With elegance and grace, elephants make their way to the Kumbha Mela festival grounds. One elephant can do the work of 100 men. The camel is a hearty beast of burden used for centuries in India. Carrying heavy loads of firewood, tents and food on their backs, they form a lifeline from the outside world to the Kumbha Mela. Although the festival management had organized many restaurants at the campsite and several institutions distributed free meals daily, many sadhus preferred to prepare their own food on simple wood fires. A favorite was the traditional Indian flatbread, the chapati. The market areas offer all the necessities and luxuries of Kumbha Mela life, including brass pots, bowls, items of worship, fresh fruits and vegetables, beads for meditation, incense, inexpensive but warm woolen blankets, and every type of traditional Indian clothing. More than 5,000 spiritual institutions pitch their camps at Kumbha Mela. Many of these institutions constructed large tents and attracted thousands of visitors to their stage performances and revival meetings. In the daytime, the sound and mantras being chanted in front of the sacred fire could be heard coming from hundreds of tents. In some tents, lectures on the topic of God consciousness were given, and in other tents, Vedic songs and sacred hymns were sung. many sadhus arrive at the Kumbha Mela on a variety of conveyances, carrying ornate banners and singing sacred songs in praise of God.
Jai Shri Ram! 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 Jai Shri Ram!
Bath. Bands play, people dance in jubilation, and colourful flags and banners fly above the crowd. India is unique in arranging such huge processions simply to offer proper respects to saintly persons. Many sadhus smear their bodies with ashes and Ganges water as a sign of their renunciation. Women, as well as men, shave their heads at the beginning of the festival as a gesture of their surrender and humility. Often unruly, the procession is composed of men, women, and even children pursuing the path of liberation. Setting up camps and mobile temples, many sects held kathas, or readings from Vedic literatures, accompanied by lively kirtans, chants, and spiritual lectures by their gurus and holy men.
भगवान ने एक झटका दिया जिससे दोनों वृक्ष चरमराकर कहा कि अच्छा बाहर से लाओ, वो फिर दौड़ी दौड़ी बरसाने गई और वहां से एक रस्सी लाई वह यशोदा मैया को पकड़ा दी। यशोदा मैया ने अपने हाथ में ली वह रस्सी, अपने हृदय में कहा कि लाला ये आखिरी रस्सी है, इससे टूटना चाहिए।
ओम एकदंताय विद्महे वक्रतुंडाय धीमहि तन्नो जगदीश्वर में प्रसीद गाना
These Manipuri artists are trained from youth in the culture of the Pang, a drum which presides over all rites of passage in the mountain kingdom from where they have come. Famous throughout India, Manipur is known for its performing arts. In the dance performance known as Krishna Lila, boys play the parts of both male and female divinities. The dance drama is more religious ritual than entertainment.
प्रस्तुतिकरण मार्शल आर्ट्स भगवान श्री कृष्ण सभी कलाओं में निपुण थे।
Bhajan, or kirtan, is devotional chanting of God's names, accompanied by musical instruments. The leader begins the chant while the audience responds.
Oh
With pomp and ceremony, the gurus are received as they enter the Sangam or visit the festival sites.
And that today will stand as a historic moment in the path toward global peace, global harmony, and global unity.
दलाई लामा जी महाराज जो अपने आप में चलता फिरता बौद्ध धर्म है.
The Dalai Lama.
Now just my humble sort of request or appeal is everywhere, whenever I go, I participate in some religious function or even a political function. Everybody's mouth, word of peace, always there. But now question is, peace must develop.